My name is Jasmine Jones. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl Therapists in the Wild. This little show I like to call Therapist Tips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing. This is an early 2000s rewind, The Perfect Holiday from 2007, and we are sipping on Kahlua, oat milk, and cream de cacao. So y'all getting a double fucking feature because I like this movie. It was cute. And I had never seen it before. At least I don't remember seeing it. This is like a love letter to fucking Kim Porter. I promise you it is. Like I went on IMDb to see what people were saying. The reviews are from like 2007. And they were just like, oh, this movie's so bland. It's not funny. It's made to be like a Lifetime or Hallmark black romance holiday movie with a better budget and more famouser people. Like Queen Latifah's in it, Terrence Howard, Gabrielle Union, Morris Chestnut, Charlie Murphy. It's like a whole motherfucking vibe. And it's so cute. I want to, just before we get into like what happens in the movie and why I really like it, you have to watch this movie like you watching a black holiday romance movie from Hallmark. The comedy is going to be dumbed down. Even Cat Williams is like in this movie, right? But like the comedy is like pulled back. It's not too outrageous. It's not in your face because it's literally like a better produced love story. And it's so cute. It's so cute. So anyways, the movie is about Gabrielle Union, and she has three kids, right? She has three kids with this nigga named Jay Jizzy. Jay Jizzy is supposed to be like P. Diddy, right? That's why I'm saying Gabrielle Union is like Kim Porter and shit, nigga. But instead of two twin girls, she got two boys and she got a little girl, right? And like this nigga is just not in the kid's life like he's supposed to be. He in and out. He don't show up. Like kids sitting on the porch in the snow waiting for him to come. He don't come. It's a whole situation, right? And he just clueless, just trying to get his money. He's played by Charlie Murphy. And I was just like, they do not look cute together whatsoever. I don't care. But the thing is, too, everybody in this movie is fucking beautiful, like chocolatey, smooth skin, especially Morris Chestnut. That nigga's fine. And I looked it up. He been married since like the early 90s, and he posted some shit about how he wrote or said in some article like he's never cheated on his wife. And I just want to believe it. I just want to believe that this nigga is being honest and he never cheated on because I want to. I don't care. So anyways, Gabby, she out here with her three kids, just struggling, but like she get money though because that nigga's rich, so she don't gotta worry about money, but she gotta worry about her three kids that she gotta take care of. So anyways, come in Morris Chestnut. He's like this songwriting ass nigga and shit, and he's trying to get, seen and shit and get into the industry. And so he hanging outside of one of Jay Jizzy studios, right? And he's like he ends up trying to talk to Jay, and it's funny because when he's outside the studio with all the other niggas trying to like meet Jay Jizzy and shit, he waving in the crowd looking like Morris Chestnut does, and then Jay Jizzy waves him over, and I'm just like, well, I mean, that's P. Diddy's type though, like, cause he don't wave nobody else over and shit. I'm like, that's his type, like, that makes sense. That makes sense that he would wave over the Morris Chestnut looking nigga out of the crowd to come talk to him. I'm just, there's nothing wrong with being homosexual, but I'm going to laugh at you if you sitting up here being homophobic and homosexual at the same fucking time. I don't care, you're a bitch. So he waves over Morris Chestnut and he's like, what you want, nigga? And so Morris Chestnut got his little mixtape or whatever that he want to get to him so he can listen to. And so this nigga's like, you know what? Fuck you, nigga. I don't want to listen to your mixtape. And he threw it on the ground and shit. But Cat Williams, or no, I think one of the driver picks it up and puts it in the van with the other pile of mixtapes and shit that Jay Jizzy been getting from random niggas and shit in the street. And so Morris Chestnut got this like side hustle, right? Like he's the Santa Claus at the mall for the winter time because it's a little gig he got because he's poor. That's the only thing I didn't like. I was like, why is he poor? Like, but like it comes together in the end because he gets a good paying job at the end. It's so it all works out and shit. He doesn't stay poor forever. We're not gonna be with no bums and shit. That's all emotionally fucked up because they ain't got no money and shit. No, nigga. So anyways, he works at the mall as a Santa Claus, right? So one day, Gabby and her kids and her friends are there, and her friends are gorgeous. You got the bitch from The Craft, you got the bitch from Girlfriends, and you got Gabby and shit. And they in the mall walking around with the kids, like, and the little girl wants to go see Santa Claus and sit on his lap and ask him for some shit, right? So while they're in line to see Santa Claus, Gabby talking to her homegirls, and she's just like, well, I just am so tired of this nigga Jay Jizzy. He ain't shit. And her homegirl's like, well, you need to date around and find a new nigga. And she like, I just want a man to come up and give me a compliment. Just something so simple. And I'm just like, girl, we don't go from the extreme of abuse to accepting the smallest of crumbs of positivity. These are extremes. When you live in the extremes, bad things happen because you are like a car and your engine is always running when you're in the extremes. You need to be balanced so that you can turn the engine off sometimes and feel safe and secure in turning the engine off, bitch. I wish the fuck I would say. That's some shit I would have said in my 20s. Like, I'll be fine with just having dinner at McDonald's and, sitting in the park and, on a first date. And, bitch, you got me. Oh, the youthful me. No, you gonna show me that you grown just like I'm grown. We're both grown, and grown people go out on dates, and you show up for me and I show up for you, and we do grown people things together, and you gonna show me all them things. So she ain't lying. The little girl's listening to the adults talk as children do. So Gabby's just like, I just want some fine ass nigga to come up to me and just give me a compliment, tell me I'm beautiful and blah 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 blah. And so the little girl hear her say that, right? So she gets on Santa's lap, and I just do not believe in these mall Santa. My mom said she tried to get me to go to Santa Claus and sit on his fucking lap one time, and I screamed to high heaven because I read that energy. Like, who does a job like that where you got a bunch of little kids on your lap? It's weird. I don't care. Like, I don't want to be touching other people's kids in any type of way. I don't want you sitting on my lap. Like, if I'm related to you, or like you my friends' kids or something, that's one thing. Because kids like to come up to you, and kids do this weird shit with me. They come up to me, they sit next to me, and they just lean. And I just be like, I guess, like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I just let you lean on me, or what exactly? Okay, whatever, nigga. So, like, the little girl asked Santa Claus, can you give my mom, can you give my mommy a man to come up to her and give her a compliment? And he's like, who? And this is Morris Chestnut, but the little girl don't know it because he got his Santa Claus get up on. And he's like, who's your mommy? And she was like, her over there on the right. And he was just stunned by the beauty of Gabrielle Union, of course. And so, like, he's like, I'll grant your Christmas wish or whatever. So at some point during the movie, they both end up at the laundromat or some shit. And this nigga gives her a compliment. He's just like, you're the most beautiful woman in the whole entire world. And she was just like, oh my gosh, stars in her eye. I wish a Morris Chestnut looking ass nigga would come up to me and you know I like beauty. I can't, like, I don't even want to fuck Morris Chestnut. I just love beauty. Like, it's just like looking at a painting. Like, look at his teeth. They're so big, but they're proportionate to his mouth, which makes his smile bigger. And his eyes are so pretty and they just go fit on his face, and his skin is so smooth and soft textured. His wife is a lucky bitch. God bless them all. So anyways, she's just like stunned. She tells her friends drag her back to the laundromat, and she tried to find him again. At some point she finds him again, and then they start dating, right? And they're just in, it's so, she was wearing these ugly ass dresses on these days though, but it was the early 2000s. We were wearing sweater dresses with puffy shoulders and weird and weird ass like long sleeve t-shirts with a short sleeve t-shirt button up on top of it, like right. We were business casualing it out everywhere we went. It was just a thing. So they're dating, and at some point she decides that it's okay for him to meet her kids now after knowing him for like a week. I mean, I'm just gonna let it ride because it is a movie and it is a romance movie and shit like that. But like, don't introduce some strange man to your kids until you've known them for at least 6 months, to a year, because niggas are crazy and there's too many children out here being molested and hit in the face by these random niggas that these bitches bring into their home because they're lonely. Okay, don't do that. But because this is a movie, we're gonna let it ride that he's poor in the beginning and then she introducing him to her kids after a fucking week. No, because they're pretty and it's so cute how he courted her and just, he introduces her to his friends and shit. Faison Love is his friend and shit. And you know what I was thinking when Faison Love showed up on the screen. And I was just like, and then Cat Williams is in the movie too. And I was just like, that shit is hilarious. I'm not going to say it, but but even he looked nice. Like his skin was all smooth and shit, just like everybody else's skin was smooth. And I was just like, what was the skincare regimen for the actors in this movie? Was they just drinking a lot of water? Like, this is not just makeup. So he and then they got their little fairy godparents and shit watching out for him. So Terrence Howard and Queen Latifah are like the little angel. I kept calling them the ancestors. Like the ancestors were trying to keep them together. And Terrence Howard was like this bah humbug Scrooge ass ancestor and shit. And Queen Latifah was like the fairy fluffy, happy Christmassy ancestor that was just so excited about Christmas and one happy Christmassy things that happen. And Terrence Howard would do these random ass humbuggy things, and I was just like, what is he doing? But the shit was hilarious. They were so cute. I loved them as little angel ancestors or whatever the fuck they were. It was magical. I loved it. I loved the camaraderie between the two of them. It was gorgeous. It was so cute. It was the cutest. This is the cutest movie. If you just took out the part where he's poor and she's introducing him to her kids in the first week of knowing him, it would have been magical. Everything would have been great. Anyways. So she brings him to the house to meet her fucking kids. And the oldest kid, Mikey, he's like, wait, is it JoJo? No, the oldest kid is JoJo. The middle kid is Michael. And so she brings him to the house to introduce him to her kids. And her kids just want their mommy to be happy. The two youngest ones, Mikey and the little girl, just want their mommy to be happy. They see their daddy ain't shit because the dad is showing himself to not be shit to them. Not just how he treats the mama, but how he treats them kids. He say he gonna pick them up. Don't pick them up, leave them there on the porch and shit. Don't really want to be around them. Don't be talking. Just a piece of shit, dog ass shit. And so them two little kids is riding for this. They're like, oh my gosh. And the little girl thinking her wish came true because Santa brought her mommy a man and shit that'll love her and cherish her and care for her and everything. It was magical. And then like JoJo is mad. He's going through trauma because he on the one hand knows his dad ain't shit, but has normalized his dad's behavior because he wants his mommy and daddy to be together because he's a baby. That little baby. It was so sad. So he immediately sees Morris Chestnut as enemy number one. He's like, fuck this nigga. Mommy and daddy supposed to be back together. I don't even like this nigga. He didn't want to get dressed. He came downstairs in some big old boxers and shit talking about, fuck this nigga. You don't belong here. Fuck you. And I was just like, that poor little baby. That man done traumatized this child and he's all fucked up and shit. And I was just like, and Morris understood, like this little boy need his father to care for him, and his father's not caring for him. Like the two little ones, they got a different mentality. They just wrote their dad off like, fuck this nigga. Fuck him. We gonna get a new daddy. We don't need this nigga. But JoJo, he's the oldest, so he been around his daddy the longest, and he's just like, well, I mean, he got good qualities though, and I want my daddy and mommy to be together though, little child brain and shit. So the kids got this little like hijinks and Sue energy and shit. Like they basically is up here doing little like cutesy corny shit, like talking to Santa. Like, so the little girl go back to the mall and talk to Santa again and thank him for sending him her mommy a man and all this other stuff, and she just so happy and shit. And I'm just like, that's so cute, because they don't let little black kids be corny. They don't let little black kids be corny and cute and whatever. They be up in there like they only let the white kids have hijinks and shit. Like little black kids got to be all like JoJo and shit, all sad and fucked up in the face. So JoJo finds out that his little sister had wished for his mommy to have a man. So he goes with his little sister, and they end up at the mall with just JoJo and a little sister, and JoJo ain't nothing older than 10 or 11. The little sister like 5 or 6 at the mall by themselves. But this is a black family. I used to walk to the mall and down the street and doing all this random shit when I was 10 or 11 too, because we're built for it tough. So I wasn't even mad about it. I was like, well, maybe the mall's like around the corner or something. Maybe the subway. Maybe they know not to talk to strangers. And don't send your 5 or 6 and 10 and 11-year-old off into the city by themselves, because they're small enough to get snatched, okay? I'm not saying it's okay. We're not built for it tough. These are children. These are babies. Well, anyways, they end up at the mall by themselves, and he tells her to go talk to Santa and tell him to get rid of that nigga. So she goes, talks to Santa again, and unbeknownst to her, it's Morris Chestnut. Oh, God, he's beautiful. And she's like, well, my brother said that if that nigga don't disappear out my mommy's life, he gonna give him the treatment and start pulling pranks on him and shit. So every time he pulls a prank, she going to tell Santa what prank is going to be. So Morris Chestnut never ends up getting pranked because he's 10 steps ahead of this child, because, it's a child. No, we're not going to give him extras for his children. You're an adult. If you're paying attention, it's easy to clock. Like, you don't even have to listen to what this child is saying. Like, it's easy to clock if you're paying attention. And this child, JoJo, getting more and more upset and everything like that. And then... so on the other side of town, Jay Jizzy, P. Diddy, that's who they wanted. That's who it was supposed to be. I really feel like this was like a love letter to Kim Porter. Like, what if she had, found some beautiful man that got her out of that situation, and that nigga just decided to leave her the fuck alone, and she got to take her kids and just be happy in the world without this crazy nigga tagging along. What if, like that show on Disney Plus, what if? But you're never alone in the world when you got a toxic, narcissistic, sociopathic nigga on your ass. You're never fucking alone, because they just can't leave you alone, because they're broken people. So, if you want to watch this as a what if episode, do so. It's a dream. It's a fun, happy dream. And so anyways, where was I? Oh, on the other side of town, Jay Jizzy over here, he trying to finish his little funky ass Christmas album. It's some bullshit. And so he needs a final track. And Cat Williams is telling him like, no, you need a track to finish off the album because the other songs ain't really that good. And Jay Jizzy's just like, whatever, nigga. So he pulls out the pile of mixtapes and he picks one off the pile and like whoever CD this is it gonna be the last song on the album. And he plays, and of course it's Morris Chestnut CD. So he called Morris in. Morris playing his music and doing whatever. And so he's chosen to be the songwriter for the song that Jay Jizzy is gonna sing for the last song of the album, and it's so fucking stupid. It's this nigga can't sing. So he sings the song and they're trying to look endearing at him. They're just, Cat Williams is staring at Jay Jizzy like, oh, this is the best song ever. This is the best thing that you ever said. This nigga can't sing, honey. Like, what are we? Morris is over there playing a piano and shit. Cat is looking at Jay Jizzy like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful song, and you're singing it so. And I'm just like, are we both listening to the same? No, because I don't know if I have a sensory issue or whatever, but when something's off in music especially, I can hear it like immediately when you're even slightly off. Now I can't sing or anything. I just know I can hear the sound of the music skipping and being off and the notes not matching. And then I can't vibe anymore. I know you want me to vibe, I know you want me to pretend, but I can't vibe because I'm going to start rocking to the beat being off, and it's going to start pissing me off. So I could hear. And I was just like, what are they looking at him so endearingly for? Like, I'm confused. Like, what's going on? And so, like, one evening, like, Morris is at Gabby's house, right? And he's, like, just chilling, right? And Jay Dizzy calls him and lets him know that's when he calls and lets him know that he's been chosen. His song's been chosen. He need to come in and write the song and play the music and do the whatever, right? So he's cool. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. And he hangs up the phone. And then Gabby's phone rings, the house phone, and he picks it up and it's Jay Dizzy again. He's like, wait a minute. And Jay Dizzy's like, well, didn't I just finish talking? And he's like, what? And he hangs up the phone. Come to find out, he didn't know that Jay Dizzy was Gabby's baby daddy, right? And so now he's freaking out. He in the house with her. He's freaking out. He don't know what to do. So this nigga gonna up and leave and then ghost her for a couple days. I'm tired of niggas. Like, why don't you just be honest? Like, why you gotta lie and shit? Why you ruin this shit? And but, I feel like there needs to be a little bit of drama in these romance movies, but not too much drama. It needs to be hijinks type of drama. It can't be like, I cheated on you with 50 bitches and, I'm actually on the down low and shit, and I've been cheating on you with a bunch of niggas, and now I got HIV and you got HIV. I was doing the bending, bitch. No, because them down low niggas is reckless. It's all about the thrill of the chase. It's about getting the feeling and shit. And they most likely not to use protection and take care of themselves because they want to not admit that they like niggas and shit in real life. And getting protection and doing stuff like that is like admitting to them that they like niggas and shit. So like, yeah, they're reckless. So anyways, he ghosted her for a couple days, and then he talked to his friend Faison Love, who's lying to bitches, telling bitches that he's a bounty hunter, to the point where he's changed his whole apartment to look like some bounty hunter shit with wanted posters all over, and I think he has some guns up in there and shit like that. And Morris is just looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So Faison knew the whole time that was Gabby's baby daddy, and Morris was like, why didn't you tell me? He was like, for what? Like, what's the big deal? And so he tells Morris to just pretend like just not to be in the same room with both of them instead of telling the truth. We're gonna just not be in the same room with both of them. So he at the studio ducking and dodging Gabby, and then all in Gabby face trying to be with her. And then he getting stressed out because this little boy keep coming to Santa talking about, I want this nigga out my mom's life. I want this nigga out my mom's life. So the catalyst was the little boy coming to him and telling him that he wants his daddy and he wants this nigga out his mom's life and all this other stuff. So he decides that day to call Gabby and be like, I just don't think we should be together because, I just don't think so. And then he hangs up the fucking phone. Weak ass, childish ass nigga. No, because the whole time, I mean, I understand that child has feelings and he's sad and all this other stuff. But, you know, like with consistency and good behavior, he would get the fuck over it, because that man took him to the mall. Morris took him to the mall and tried to get to know him and talk to him and shit. And then was playing the piano with him and shit. And like, it was good. It was a vibe and shit. Like, Morris pushed it too hard at the end after they played the piano. Like, he should have just been like, oh, so what do you want to do next? But instead he was like, how you feeling? How you feeling? Like, don't, you asked one too many times. Like, you just back up. Like, he's still sensitive and shit. You don't need to know 52 times how he feeling or so whatever the fuck he said. Like, you just ask him, what do you want to do next? Like, let him chew, let him simmer a little bit. But no, he's like, how you feeling? How you feeling? And that child just walked off and was like, you know what, fuck this. I want my daddy. I don't care if we played the piano, nigga. Fuck you. But no, with consistent good behavior and positive reinforcements and all that other shit, that child would have got over it. No, he would have. Because that's how children work. You just have to keep showing them that you're a decent fucking person and showing them positive examples of love and wholesomeness and shit from a man. And eventually, they will learn to trust you and they will learn to get over that shit, you know? But, you know, niggas be doing shit. So he broke up with the bitch randomly. And so she's sitting on the couch crying and upset. And this is the same night that Jay Jizzy wants his kids to come for Thanksgiving. The court ruled that the kids had to be with him for Christmas or whatever the holiday was. Christmas, Thanksgiving. I think it was Christmas. And so he having this big ass party at this, like, event center or some shit. And, like, he got his kids dressed up like the Jackson 5 and shit. This movie is so cute. Y'all don't have to like it. I like it. He got his kids dressed up as a Jackson 5, and then he pushed them off into a closet talking about, y'all got to sit over here until I come and get you. And they just sitting up in the closet. So we got the middle boy. He's peeking out the door, seeing the kids on the remote control cars and shit riding around upstairs, and he want to do that. And then JoJo over here, his dad, talking about oh, well, you know, she talking about marrying this new nigga. So he still don't know it's Morris Chestnut, though. He just know that JoJo keep telling him about a new nigga that his mom is with. So he's like, she's talking about marrying this new nigga and da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask her to marry me. And then JoJo get all happy and excited for a moment because he's like, finally it worked. Da-da-da-da-da. And then, like, next thing you know, he's like, and then I'm gonna break up with her. And then JoJo just walk out and realize his dad ain't shit. Like, he's like, you ain't shit, nigga. Like, why would you hurt mommy like that? Like, why would you do that to her? Like, he runs off, just disappears into the crowd and shit. So he done lost one child. So JoJo runs to the mall because he wants to talk to Santa Claus and take back his wish or whatever the fuck about that nigga leaving his mom alone, right? The mall's closed, but the fairy ancestors are there. The fairy ancestors. And they open the door for him and shit. When are you gonna see some cute black magic shit like this? Cute magical black holiday shit. It's so cute. It is. They open the door for him. And he run up in there, and then they turn the lights on for him and shit. All this random magical, just giving a little nudge here and nudge there, as the magical fairy ancestors are supposed to do. And then he runs up to Morris Chestnut, who hasn't left the mall yet. He's still in his Santa outfit. And he's just like, please, I want to take my wish back. My dad ain't shit. Like, my mom deserves to be with a good man. And then Morris Chestnut takes off his beard and show him that it's been him the whole time. He's just like, what? What happened? I guess so. He sits him down and tells him the whole story of how he ended up being the Santa Claus and all this other stuff. And so JoJo's like, I mean, I guess that's okay, though. Like, it's cool or whatever. Like, can you be my daddy, though? So Morris Chestnut is just like, let me take you back to your family and shit. So Morris is taking him back to where his dad is, right? But, like, after JoJo ran off, everybody freaked out. The police were called. Like, they called Gabby. Gabby ran up over there to try to find her son, right? So Morris pulled up with JoJo right as Gabby's in there trying to, like, cuss this nigga out about, where's my child? And then the other child, Mikey, he done disappeared. They don't know where the fuck he is. Come to find out, he snuck away, got on one of the little remote cars and was riding around and then crashed into some presents and flew out over onto the big ass Christmas tree in the middle of the gathering, right? And so everybody's seeing it and they're just like, oh my gosh, Mikey. And then JoJo runs up and Morris runs up. And so Morris sees Mikey on the tree, right? So he runs up the stairs, right? And like he's like, I'm gonna get you, Mikey. I'm gonna get you. And so he leaning across the railing to get Mikey, and Mikey leaning, and they reaching for, and then the magical fairy ancestors. I like this fucking movie. The magical fairy ancestors come, and they give a little nudge, and then they reach each other, and he pulls Mikey off the tree. It's so cute. He saved that baby's life. And so he goes downstairs and he basically tells Gabby that he been Santa the whole time. And Jay Jizzy is like, he's trying to songwrite for Jay Jizzy. So Jay Jizzy pissed off because he's like, oh my gosh, you dated my girl. And so everybody, and then Jay Jizzy's like, everybody's fired. And you're fired, and you're fired, and you're fired. And they're just like, what the fuck? He fires Cat Williams, his agent, or whoever the fuck he's supposed to be. And so Morris feels all sad because Gabby was just like, why are you lying? You ain't got to lie, Craig. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. And so Morris looks so sad and chocolatey. And oh, God. He did. Shit. He looks so sad and chocolatey, and he just walks out. And he's like a little lost dog, and he just walks out of the venue. And then Gabby's kids, little girl, little baby, she's just like, go get your man, mommy. Mommy, you need to go get your man. Just like, look at this little grown ass child. And so, like, Gabby run out, and everybody in the crowd I guess everybody in the crowd was listening to their conversation. I was just like, nosy ass niggas. Oh, and so everybody in the crowd was like, go get your man, girl. Go get your man, girl. This movie, I don't care. This was a good ass fucking movie. It was a good production. Hallmark movie and shit. It was. The production quality was amazing compared to the Hallmarks. I don't care. Amazing compared to the Lifetimes and shit, honey. I don't care. So Gabby runs out and she's like, wait, nigga, don't leave. And he was like, I'm sorry. And then they kiss, and it's a magical kiss of two chocolatey people. And then they decide to be together and shit. And then Jay Jizzy leaving, right? So JoJo see his dad leave, right? And so JoJo run out to his dad, and he's just like, Dad, you know, you ain't got to be sad. You don't got to be alone on Christmas. I could go with you. And then this nigga decides the one moment to be a fucking man. And he look at his child and be like, nigga, I ain't shit. I ain't never gonna be shit. And you can go in there with your mama and that nigga. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he meant. It's the summary. And he's just like, you know, but I love you though, son. And, you know, his son just like, okay, I get it. Like, you know, you ain't shit, but like, at least you can be honest about not being shit. And he leaves that bitch alone to find love and happiness, and it's magical. It's a what if. It's a what if. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. What if he just left? What if all the narcissists and the sociopaths just left their victims alone to be happy in the world, and they can go hurl themselves into a pit of despair and leave motherfuckers alone and shit? And that's the best ending of a fucking love story I ever did see. This nigga left her alone. Oh, it's a what if. It's a happy ending, y'all. Because what if they did? Just leave people the fuck alone. Just go away. Just leave motherfuckers alone to live their lives. If you are unhappy, be unhappy by yourself. Be unhappy with them other unhappy niggas over there. That's what hell is. Hell is just a bunch of unhappy niggas congregated together in their unhappiness, and you just leave them there to destroy themselves. Like, hell is not no burning pit and fire and shit. It's a bunch of unhappy niggas destroying themselves and the environment around them and being left alone and leaving other people alone, and they can't stand it because they can't stand the pain that they in, so they have to fuck with people. But you can't escape hell. You gotta stay there and be miserable. And so, I was telling y'all it was gonna come eventually that I was gonna do some like Black holiday Christmas movie. I just didn't know. I had never seen this movie. The reviews on IMDb are horrible, but it was just like, it's like any other Black holiday Christmas movie, Black holiday Christmas romance type of situation. It's soft and sweet and calm and innocent, and it's pretty dark-skinned black people loving on each other, and they hate it. I don't give a fuck. It was made, and so I get to watch it, and I get to watch it over and over again. Because it's Morris Chestnut and Gabrielle Union kissing on each other, and it's magical. It is so beautiful. And you got the fairy god ancestors and shit, and they just making sure everything goes right. They just trolling around just like the ancestors supposed to do. God. Yes, Lord. Yes, Jesus. It is. That's such. Y'all need to watch this movie. Y'all need to watch this movie and give it good reviews on IMDb so people can see how good of a movie it is. Like, I really just love Queen Latifah and Terrence Howard's part. Like, I do. I just think they're like the fairy godparents cartoon and shit. They just trolling around trying to make shit happen for these people. Just because Queen Latifah loves Christmas and Terrence Howard is Scrooge, and he's just following her around doing stupid shit. Like, literally, Terrence Howard is following around Queen Latifah, just like, he doesn't have any real commentary on shit. He's just grunting and making gruntings like, he's like, it's mad. That's all he does the whole fucking movie, and it's hilarious. And the child came to the door to talk to Santa to take his wish back, and Terrence Howard was at the door, and the child was like, I need to talk to Santa. I need to take my wish back. And Terrence Howard just looks at him and goes, Santa's dead. And he turns around and walks the fuck away. And then here comes Queen Latifah behind him like, don't listen to that nigga. He's stupid. She didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. I don't care. It's such a good movie, and everybody needs to see it. And I hope you see it. It's called The Perfect Holiday. It's from 2007. It got Gabrielle Union, Morris Chestnut, Queen Latifah, Terrence Howard, Charlie Murphy, Cat Williams, Faison Love. It got all the people. It got the black bitch from The Craft. It got whatchamacallit from Girlfriends. It got all the people looking beautiful and pretty, and they loving on each other. And it's just a very soft, smooth movie. It's not high comedy, in your face slapstick bullshit. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not this movie. They dumbed it down. These niggas, Charlie Murphy, Cat Williams, Faison Love, they not being extra about the comedy in this movie. They just soft and chill about the comedy, and that's why I like it too, because they basically pulled themselves back in order to make something soft and sweet for black people, and niggas did not come and give it the credit that it deserves to get. No, because I feel like we can bring this movie back into niggerdom, okay? As many black people that like black holiday romance movies and shit like that now, and how they be making lists every year and posting it online and shit like that, I feel like this movie is for that crowd, and y'all would love it. I do. I really do. I feel like that crowd would love this shit, and it's magic. And you got the fairy ancestors and shit. Y'all ain't watch this fucking movie. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. I had to do this movie because it was I don't care. See, that's why I don't tell y'all what movies I'm doing next, because like, I was like, I want to do The People Under the Stairs or The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster or whatever the fuck that movie's called. And now I'm doing like this cute little soft holiday movie with black people that are pretty. Because I enjoyed it that fucking much that I've been up since 6 a.m. because I had to go to work all day. But this movie was that good to me that I did a double fucking feature. Don't expect this all the time, because I'm not even going to edit this shit tonight. I'm probably going to edit it tomorrow. I'm about to go and pass out in the bed because I'm tired. But this movie deserved a review. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching my reviews. Later days.